The bell chimed throughout the campus and signaled the end of the school day. Everyone left the classroom in small groups and headed off to their respective clubs, homes, or to venture out on a quick side trip. I packed my things into my bag and looked out the window. The weather was as great out today as ever. We had checked out around the beach this morning, so I wondered where we'd be going today. I was lost in thought, zipping up my school bag when Akari walked up to my desk.
お待たせ。じゃあ行きましょうか。
Yeah, where are we going today?
店長、ちょっとごめんね。はい、吉備宮です。はい。またですか？はい。いや、でも私予定が。いや、わかりますけど、別の子に。はい。もう泣かないでくださいよ。しょうがないですね。はい、わかりました。それじゃ。
Was that your manager at the tea kettle again?
シフト予定だった子が病欠したんですって。ごめんね、ケイスケ。調査は明日でいいかな。
Sure, I don't mind. More importantly, are you heading straight to the tea kettle after this?
そうだけど。
I'll walk with you. It won't amount to much, but I'll order something when we get there.
通ってくれるのは嬉しいけど、お財布は大丈夫なの？
Aoi controls the purse strings, but I've got enough cash that I can order a sweet sake at least.
気持ちは嬉しいけど、お金は大事にしなさいね。無理しちゃダメよ。
Right. I was simply captivated by her gentle smile. It was like the supernatural feeling as if my heart instantly calmed. A very strange sensation indeed.
どうかした？
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
じゃあ、行きましょう。
Yeah. I obviously couldn't tell her that I was seriously enchanted by her.
そういえば、明日お休みよね。
We walked along the sidewalk and made our way to the tea kettle together. Along the way, Akari seemed to have recalled something and broke the ice. Yeah, Golden Week is finally in full swing.
明日、予定空いてた？
Yeah, if not, I'd make time. So, where are we going?
ありがとう。私のわがままに付き合ってくれて。
I'm telling you, don't worry about it. I'm your partner.
そうだったわね。それで行き先だけど、山つつじ群生区の先に宮島大洞窟の入り口があるの。そこに行ってみようと思って。
Oh, we're going spelunking? That sounds like fun. Didn't you say that area's off limits to all but authorized personnel?
あら、私は関係者よ。
Ah, I get it. Now that you mention it, that makes sense.
まあ、正式な許可は取ってないけど。
Wait, is that really okay?
大丈夫、大丈夫。現場にはロープが1本張ってあるだけだし、黙って入っても平気よ。
No, that's clearly not the issue.
いいのよ、現場の判断ってやつ。うちの頭の固い連中に許可なんて求めてたら、私おばあちゃんになっちゃうわよ。どうしたのよ、ポカーンとして。
Oh, I've just had this impression of you ever since we first met, so I never thought you'd suggest something like that.
そうかな。
Then again, she lost it during the recent Ura incident and had a tendency of flying into random fits of rage, but I could certainly accept that side of her. In that sense, perhaps that only proved how poor her relationship was with the members of the Kibitsumiya household. Well, got it in any case. I'll make sure I'm free tomorrow.
朝早めに迎えに行くから。
Akari seemed much more chipper than before. Kana had asked me to stick by Akari's side to ensure she wouldn't do anything rash when it came to matters concerning the Tsuchigumo, but maybe she'd mellowed out a bit on her own. I assumed her grudge against them hadn't gone away, but Akari was far and away cuter when she was smiling like this. As usual, the tea kettle was packed with students on their way home from school. I took up a spot by the window and sipped away at a sweet sake. With an inadvertent glance out the window, I happened to notice a figure peeking inside the shop from outside. That was Maki-san, wasn't it? What was she doing? Could she be unsure of what to order? She wasn't really acting like it, more like she was searching for someone inside. Now I was getting curious. Maybe I should go have a quick chat with her. I'm gonna head out, Akari. Could I have the check? Huh? Ha ha ha! Yeah, I guess I have been. Well, here's my bill. Good luck with your work. I never expected her to try and stop me. This had never happened before. How should I put it? Akari's voice actually got me kind of choked up. Yeah, it was kind of nice seeing her with a harrowing look on her face too. Now then. I left the shop and scanned my surroundings. Maki-san may have been gone into hiding and was peeking inside the tea kettle from behind the street lamp. With a smirk, I headed over to her. She seemed to have noticed me as well. Hello, I saw you from inside. Are you not going in? Her eyes were trembling. Why did she feel the need to try and trick me? She was certainly interested in someone inside the shop, but refused to go inside. But why though? Even though they were in the middle of a fight, Maki-san was still worried about her daughter. However, that didn't make it any easier for her to confront her face to face. That very daughter was most likely inside the shop. I may as well give a leading question a shot. I assume you came because you're worried about your daughter, right, Kibitsumiya-san? So I was right? She smiled wryly and slightly hung her head. She quietly replied. I followed Maki-san's lead and we found ourselves at the empty harbor after our regular service times had ended. Seagulls cried out in the evening sky, which still had some lingering hues of blue. Your beautiful black hair and your facial features reminded me a lot of Akari's. I'm sure when she gets older, she'll look a lot like you. There was a tinge of bittersweet emotion behind her bashful smile. The two of you really like that nectar drink, have said that peaches are the best medicine and can be incredibly careless at times. Yeah, my grandpa really drilled that into me at a young age. Watch closely and think carefully, but act boldly. Akari said something similar, like mother, like daughter. Maki-san replied and briefly fell silent. She said with her eyes cast downward, seemingly with resignation. Yes, mostly of how strict you are. I couldn't say, but she doesn't like talking about her family. I don't have that great of an impression to go by. Sorry, I'm not the type of guy who can lie.
いえ、でも無理もありません。
Based on Maki-san's expression, I could tell she had completely given up and assumed it was beyond her control. However, there were also some traces of regret and loneliness mixed in with it. Maki-san, you love Akari, don't you?
はい。たった一人の私の娘。たった一人残された私の家族ですから。
Maki-san replied with misty eyes. Her sad tone wavered, but I was certain she was telling the truth. However, Akari's hatred for her family was also genuine. What was going on? Was there some odd disagreement of sorts going on between them? It looked like Maki-san really wanted to make up with her daughter, too. Maybe I could help somehow. If it's alright with you, could I ask about your situation? I might be able to help.
いえ、お気持ちは嬉しいですが、あなたにそこまでお願いすることはできません。
Well, yes, I do imagine it's fairly complicated, but I don't think things are great the way they are for you or for Akari.
分かってます。分かってます、そんなこと。圭介君に、外の人間であるあなたに、吉備宮家の何が。
Maki-san! Her knees gave out from under her yet again before she could so much as finish her sentence. Are you alright?
すみません。
Grandpa had taught me first aid, but he obviously hadn't taught me real medicine. Still, anyone would realize her health was questionable after collapsing like this every single time we'd met. Don't use that lack of sleep excuse on me again today, okay? Should I call an ambulance?
いえ、平気です。母は強いのですよ。
What are you saying? You're pale and sweating up a storm.
少し休めば平気ですから。
Her breathing was strained, and she seemed feverish. I tried to take her pulse, but it was so weak that it was difficult to count. She was still fully conscious, but she definitely needed to see a doctor right away. It would be terrible if the worst were to happen. I'll call an ambulance. With that, I pulled out my cell phone when...
やめてください。
She pleaded to me, nearly screaming, and my hand stopped.
それだけはやめてください。お願いです。
For her to be so opposed to being taken to the hospital must mean either she had snuck out of a hospital or something else was going on.
大丈夫ですから。少し休めば大丈夫ですから。それだけは。
No, I really should call an ambulance right away. However, I couldn't help but hesitate when I saw that sad look in Maki-san's eyes. I understand. I'm calling an ambulance the next time you collapse, okay?
ありがとうございます。
I couldn't quite pin it down, but there seemed to be a mixture of relief and agony in her voice. It would be great if I could ease her pain even just a little. Come to think of it, she had perked right up last time she drank a nectar. I'll go buy nectar for you. Please wait here. Surprisingly enough, Maki-san suddenly shook her head side to side.
いえ、いいです。その代わり、一つお願いが。
What is it?
もう少し、このままでいてくれませんか。
Huh? Another unexpected comment left her mouth. For a moment, I doubted my ears.
お願いします。少しだけで構いませんから。
Well, that much really isn't asking for much.
ありがとうございます。お願い。少し強く抱きしめてください。
I was a little confused, as you would probably expect, but when she gazed at me with those sad eyes, I suddenly wrapped my arms around her. Tears seeped into Maki-san's eyes, and before long, they began to run down her cheeks. Maki-san. Akari's old man passing away also meant that Maki-san's husband had died. Her daughter eventually left home and their relationship deteriorated. Maki-san was all alone in that house.
あなた、あかり、どうして？
I had no idea what had happened between Akari and Maki-san, but she didn't seem like that heartless of a person to me. Someone so lonely and in such poor health couldn't be all that bad if she could cling to a brat like me.
あなた、あかり、助けて。
However, I couldn't vocalize those sympathies. I didn't have a clue why she would rely on someone like me. All I could do was to remain silent and embrace Maki-san as she continued to sob.
もう大丈夫です。立てますから。
Right. When I relaxed my arms, Maki-san stood up like nothing had happened. I'll walk you home.
いえ、もう平気ですから。ケイスケ君から元気をもらいましたから。
But it would be horrible if you collapsed on the way there.
本当に平気です。そんなに心配しなくても大丈夫ですよ。
Then, why don't I at least call a car?
ここへはお忍びで来ているのです。
Huh?
吉備宮家は御三家の要。一度その当主の座につけば、プライベートな時間を持つことは許されません。ここにこうしていること自体が罪になります。ですから、私のことは誰にも言わないでほしいのです。
No way.
ごめんなさい。もう行きますね。あかりのこと、よろしくお願いします。
Yes. Maki-san looked so frail as she quietly bowed her head and disappeared into the night. It was a difficult scene to watch.
ケイスケ君に、外の人間であるあなたに、吉備宮家の何が。
She wasn't wrong. I didn't know much about the Kibitsumiya household. The data Grandpa had given me wasn't so detailed as to include their family matters. But yeah, I knew it was none of my business. However, I had started to wonder if there wasn't something I could do to improve Akari and Maki-san's relationship all the same. The following day marked the beginning of Golden Week and the day I promised to meet up with Akari. Later, we headed to the Azalea cluster together. Oh, awesome! We turned off this side of the usual road to school, made our way through the hilly path and arrived at an area dyed with the violet-pink azaleas in full bloom.
ちょうど今が季節なのよ。ここは変わってないな。
Akari must have really liked this place too. She stared with a full smile plastered across her face. The warm spring breeze rocked the azaleas and fiddled with Akari's black hair. The way she softly held down her frazzled hair was sexy and beautiful simultaneously. Have you been here before?
昔ここでよくカナたちと遊んでたのよ。
Really?
ええ、ここうちから近いの。時々なんでもない。
Akari immediately shut her mouth and looked down at the ground lonesomely. Nostalgic, a place of memories. She was once close with her family. Given that, I could more or less guess where she was leading. You were about to say, Mom, right?
あなた耳がいいのね。
Good hearing and good intuition. I can't surmise things aren't going so well with your family either. What happened? I did think it would be kind of me to pretend I hadn't noticed, but then there was the incident with Maki-san yesterday. I understood painfully well how much a mother could care for her child, but I still didn't know why Akari hated her mother. If possible, I'd like to learn why. Maki-san had pushed her body to the breaking point and put her position as head of the Kibitsumiya family in jeopardy to try and meet with Akari. If it was within my power, I'd like to help these two gears mesh and start turning again. That feeling pushed me forward.
人は変わっていくの。あの頃ここで一緒に遊んでくれたお母さんはもういない。お母さんは吉備宮家の当主っていう化け物になってしまったの。そしていつかは私もああいう人になってしまう。でも
Akari pursed her lips and gazed downward. Then a wry, resigned smile crept to her face.
だから私は強くなるの。あの人にもあの家にも頼らなくてもいいような強い大人になるの。お父さんのことすら忘れて仕事にだけ生きる。そんな冷たい化け物にはなりたくない。
She clenched her fists tightly and spouted out all the comments she'd assuredly been bottling up inside her heart, like a broken dam. Tears suddenly formed in the corners of her eyes. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked that, huh? I gently patted the top of her head. Rather than brushing my hand aside, she wiped away the tears from her eyes again and again. Still, Akari's depiction of Maki-san was quite different from my impression of her. At the very least, Maki-san didn't seem even remotely like the cold-hearted and empty person Akari portrayed her to be. It would make sense if it was nothing more than some sort of weird misunderstanding, but I doubted Akari could reply calmly if I were to pry any further. I'm sorry. That's enough about this. Come on, let's go. The entrance is up ahead, right? Akari nodded with sniffle. I continued to brush her head as we stepped into the cavern. Wow, there was a place like this here?
ええ、言ったでしょ。いかにも何かありそうだって。
Yeah, there could be. A huge passageway continued on throughout the cavern as far as the eye could see. Yes, it literally continued on forever. We should have walked a considerable distance from the entrance by now, but there was absolutely no end in sight. To make matters worse, the path was becoming relatively intricate. Man, it's seriously huge in here. Looks like it'll take tons of effort just to make any headway.
そうね。
In times like these are when these shine brightest. I took a glow stick out of my bag, snapped it straight in the middle, and set it on the ground. This would make a great landmark on our return trip. After what, I took the lead and proceeded into the cavern while illuminating our path with my light. On the other hand, Akari was following behind me and had said exceptionally little since we'd entered the cave. What's wrong? Not feeling well? Did our conversation earlier about your mom bother you that much?
気になってない。
The hell? You're clearly bothered by it.
気になってないったら。
This reaction, the usually calm Akari, seemed extraordinarily childish at the moment. Come on, we're not going to get anywhere if you lose your temper now, you know.
私は冷静よ。
Oh man, let's just keep going then.
ええ。
Ha, I guess Akari was a lost cause today. Given how things were going, I couldn't expect her to keep her usual composure. For the sake of getting our hands on a solid clue, it might be best that I avoid bringing up this matter for the time being. What's up? I turned around at the sound of Akari's voice. It's Kureha! You are...
Keisuke.
The fake Ura had taken Akari from behind and had a bow shuriken lodged against her throat. Unbelievable. I hadn't noticed her presence at all.
どうやらこの先に秘宝があるようだな。この女の命が大事なら動くなよ。ケイスケ、私のことはいいから逃げて。
You got me. I never thought this would happen. I never imagined she would take Akari captive instead of me. Our positions were totally reversed. I, naturally, had no intention of running away, but one false move and Akari could get hurt. For the record, I did have a few of my Ura tools on hand, and I had seen this woman's movements once before. I could probably capture her if we went head to head, and I gave it everything I had. However, getting mixed up in a fight with her might lead to Akari discovering my true identity. Besides, even if I could take her down, I was powerless until I got Akari away from her.
何してるのケイスケ。逃げて。約束でしょ。この場から逃げたらこの女を殺す。
So she says, but I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Haha.
はははじゃないわよ。危ないことになったら逃げるって言ったじゃない。
I did, but think about it. It's pretty obvious that this is leading to a bad ending where after she kills you, she'll chase me down and end me too.
よくわかっているじゃないか。変態のくせに少しは頭が回るようだな。
Perf?
質問は許さん。いいから早く秘宝のもとへ案内しろ。ケイスケ
Right. We don't know exactly where it is though. Don't whine at me if I get lost.
騙そうとしても無駄だぞ。さっさとしないとこの女を殺すからな。
Damn, it looked like she was convinced that we knew the mystic treasure's location. If I made too much of a fuss and lost my composure, Akari would be in danger. Better just behave for now. Got it. I'll do as you say. Go on, Akari. Show her the way.
ダメよ。案内しないならお前を殺した後であいつも殺すぞ。それでもいいのか。分かったわ。
Akari reluctantly agreed now that I had been taken as an indirect hostage.